Welcome back, folks. A lot to get back to on Disco Elysium tonight. We left it at a strange sort of cliffhanger, really, whereas we found some old deserter left over from the revolution from 40 years ago, claiming to be the murderer, with potential motive and murder weapon. I'm not sure I believe it, because I don't think this is where the game has got to. And then we were just about to take him in. He's confessed. When this thing appeared, the amazing, miraculous phasmid that only I and Kim can see at the moment. This guy doesn't see it. So we've got some work to do. And that horrible background noise, by the way, is this thing's chirping and stuff, I think. So let's deal with this first. We might need to shoot this. Oh, thank God, that noise has calmed down. There's a lot to do in this episode because it's going to be quite a decisive one. We either have found the murderer and therefore the end of the game, or it's going to turn out to be a big ploy and there's a lot more plot to it. So this is a critical juncture in the game, I think. We'll see. In Celindian phasmid, the creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It's no more than 5 steps away from you. Sorry, I just need to move the mic. Hope you can hear me okay. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. Whisper, this is the Insulindian phasmid.
It is.
It is, the lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly, painstakingly so. I think he's taking his camera out. Yep, looks like he's got a camera on there. You glance over your shoulder. The man holds a piece of milled aluminium, begins to pull it open, extremely carefully. It's the camera. No! The flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now. Kim, the flash is loud. It won't light that.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
He continues to pull the lens open. From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear. Half-light. I am not palatable. Do not eat me. I'm afraid. I think this is our instinct translating what this thing's trying to convey. It's afraid. Stop now.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
He's whispering, that's why he's quiet. He has stopped fiddling with the camera, but does not put it down. You see the phasmid turn to him, its mandible antenna reaching out. The motions are quick, sudden. Who cares what they think, Kim?
Understood. Of course.
He comes to, abruptly. The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antenna taking the measure of the air, slowly. Say something to it quietly. Hang on, I've got a 97% chance of this. Your corpse will be marked by stars? Why is my corpse going to be marked by stars? And I've got a +1 for that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good chance of this working rightly. So let's say something really quiet. Oh, there's a chance I'm going to approach carefully using my electrochemistry, actually. I'm just going to go for it. Because that was such a good chance of success. With a bad roll. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps towards the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. I thought it was preparing for a big fart. I've seen evolution. I know what these things do. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin. I learnt the word. Of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds and its eyes are like small droplets of water. Look behind you. It's smelling me. Maybe it is real. The pheromone. Oh, we put some pheromone on, didn't we? To try and attract these things. We got from the phasmid hunters? I think. Didn't it not smell like piss or something? I don't know. Authority. About now, he is ready to believe in anything. Oh, Kim's had his eyes opened. The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads, They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue to expand, I think that's meant to say, like lunglets. Breathing you in, your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze. Raise your hand slowly. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid. Put your hand down. Didn't want it to bite it off. The invertebrate comes back to life, stridulating. Sets of complex eyes follow you, moving in tandem, on either side of the insect's small head. Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am. I'm going to say whisper, okay, Kim, take the picture. Okay. With a slow ring of metal, Lieutenant slides the lens open and raises it to eye level. There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you. In 3, the man whispers. His voice is tense. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom! Oh, wow, what a picture! Why do those fingers look red, like they're about to get bitten off? The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized by the flash, it stands frozen before you. I got it, you hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds and sky, and you as a shadow before it. I don't want to reach out and touch its whisker, do I? I think that's going to go bad for me if I try to reach out. Carefully pet its scythe-like forearm. We got it. Back off. I'm just going to back off. I don't think the others are... The curiosity is really pulling me. Oh, I'm going to touch the whisker. Am I alive? The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold, ticklish. Oh, that was good, though. The sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a young vine. It's even a bit wet. Be careful, detective, it's moving. Wipe it off. We'll look at it first, I guess. You were right, it glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen. Lick your finger? That would be an extremely bad idea, surely. I'll catch some phasmid flu or something. But because it's there as an option, it is so tempting me to do it. Carefully pet its side-like... I don't know. Go on, there it is. The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing. Reaction speed. Warning. Pull your hand away. It doesn't like that. A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening, wave by wave, from its stupor. Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think. Back off. I don't... Lick my finger. The insane, chaotic me says, yeah, just do it. See what happens. Would you, though? This might cure me. I just want to see what happens. It's going to be the worst idea ever, but I'm doing it. I got XP for that. It tastes like sugar. Very faint. The anthropod towers above you. Tufts of reeds pointing from limb and head alike. Taste, odourless, mostly comprised of water. So I've licked some sweet water off its whiskers. We got it. Back off. Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off. In a swaying, praying motion, even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you. I'm going to say, hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am. No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. I have pushed my luck so much with this. I think I should back off. But then the curiosity... You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna poke the hornet's nest like I do in all these situations. Stand on your tiptoes and look more closely. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. Kim, it's foaming. Careful, it may be poisonous. Lieutenant watches you apprehensively. The foam slowly turns a dark shade, like burnt caramel. It's either bleeding, or it's doing like you know how flies eat food? They vomit some concoction of enzymes onto it, which break down the food, and then the fly sucks it up. Well, kind of like that. Maybe that's how this thing feeds. And this is the... Yeah. Don't think I want to be getting too close to this. As the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating, the little bubbles begin to burst one by one. Inland Empire, tell me... Right, so I just want to see... I got 97% this should work. I spoke to the hanged man. I've talked to weird things in this game. Okay. I did not give up on the phasmid, for 2. I tasted it, and I know about parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis. Well, I'll take your word for that game. I remember the word, but I don't know. I don't know what we did with it. Okay. What's my hunch say? It says I exist. What exactly are you? I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulindian Isola. For the last 350 years, I've hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, moulding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys. Sorry, just making sure this is recording. A bit like probably Kim is doing with his camera right now. It may have unknown dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage. I went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain, also by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Seminoles Islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the Citizens Militia in Revachol, district of Martinez, March 51. Oh, are you poisonous? Yes. I do not have a startle display, so I use neurodegenerative alamone to aid in camouflage. Do not worry, it is only destructive over long periods of time, so me licking my fingers. Okay. The deserter. He's been here for a long time. That's interesting. I exist too. Tell me what it's like for you. I'm ill. What is your illness? In my heart, for me it's sadness, input after input. For me, it's not like that. I have states, not emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards, but that is not important. Now I'll tell you how it is for me. For me it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist. Intruded upon by what? Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations, a swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms, all speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul. If I did, it would never ache. The hell is happening to me right now? I don't know. You're just a shadow for me, far away, faintly transmitting, but for a curious smell. You're the type of animal I would like to be. Are you sure? No, I'm not. Why are you asking? Sometimes, when molting, I regrow a lost limb. Now that's handy. One time something went wrong and a small leg replaced a missing antenna. Small leg? Okay, that's cool. No, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk. You don't have a foot there now. Yes, thankfully, someone ate it. The next time I molted, I grew an antenna again. I was kind of lucky. Where does this come from, all this around us, the world? Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lilies. We need to know. Then all we can do is beat our fists against it day after day with no answer. You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or a reed. Wait, so you look like a reed and you eat reeds? Yes, they don't mind. Have you accidentally eaten another reed phasmid? Yes. I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident. I can't believe we're having this conversation. I'm a detective. So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? The killer. He is in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only quicken his deterioration. You're destroying him? Very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It's meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads, but he has looked at me too long, and I am destroying him. Is this a dream? What's happening? No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real. That's insane. No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I'm a relatively median life form, while it is you who are total extreme madness. A volatile simian nervous system, ominously new to the planet. The Pale, too, came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Cnidirans do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all. Yes, I think if you could ask the ecosystems of the Earth today, they would probably say the same thing. Now then, we can ask about what the Pale is. This is important because there was one of the checks that I can take in the game. And I can't remember who it's with, but I get a -10 penalty on it because I have not discovered the Pale. I think it's with the programmer in the church, and we're trying to discover that 2mm hole in the world. I think. So let's find out what the Pale is. It's a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind. I don't have that kind of power. You are a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Given enough time, you would wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident. Again, it sounds familiar. How? We suspect it would be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing, only much worse. Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts. That's my conceptualization. That's an interesting concept, I suppose. Worse how? Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nerve mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget? Blink quick. Please do not do that again. In case he isn't there when we open our eyes again. He believes that things only exist because we imagine them to, maybe? There is a philosophy that goes like that, I think, that I've heard of. Have I always thought this way? Yeah, it's a bit like the pantheon with gods. Like TV series American Gods. I think this, I haven't seen that fully. I've only watched a couple of episodes, so I might be wrong on this. But basically, the belief goes, and this is in Terry Pratchett's books as well, Small Gods, that the gods only exist, come to exist because somewhere someone believes in them. Gods pop into existence because someone has had the thought that that particular god exists. And the more that people that believe him, the stronger they are or the more they really do exist. Maybe this is a similar sort of thing. The phasmid only exists because people think of them. There you go, there's a thought. How do you know you don't only exist because someone else believes you're there? Ah. Anyway, let's have I always thought this way? No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation. But I want to blink and undo 12 billion years of matter expansion. Simian Butcherer. Soon, one of you will close your eyes and open them to see that none of this ever existed. I probably should have picked a better option there. I thought it was going to give me more choices. Well, allowed to continue. Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure? Doesn't look like that, no. What does it look like? You're just staring at it, he whispers. Then I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind. Okay. After a second, the lieutenant asks, is it somehow related to the case? No. That's a bit mad. Sort of. I think you should back away from the unstudied species now. I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all. No, there is one more. Of all the creatures I have met, you are the scariest. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you before you go. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. For all mankind. I think, is he talking about his ex-wife there? I will try. She was hell on earth. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that. Disengage slowly. As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water. The long limbs carry its feather weight without breaking its surface. All that noise again. And it kind of blends back in, or it scarpers. It's gone. Interesting. Very interesting. And just like that, it's gone. Skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there among the reeds, a collection of items. It's gone. Lieutenant looks north, with his hand raised to his brow. What's that, in the reeds? He squints. Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look. It can walk on water? Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only, he shakes his head with amazement. I've never seen anything like that in my life. What now? What now? The old man behind you repeats suddenly. He's put his hand into the ash. It's dirty and black. Our suspect not looking so good. We need to check on him. We will, but first, be a scope in there, please. A T9/32 rifle scope, which I think means it's a, is it 32mm 9x zoom? 32mm aperture, I think. And Fairweather T500 helmet. Interesting. Hang on. There must be some stuff. No, there's no interact stuff in here. So we've got the scope. Can I do anything with it? Can I hold it? Nope. We've got the 4.46 rifle. Let's have a look. This is the Triangong's, the poor man's sniper rifle. While not the most reliable firearms, it's relatively precise due to a very manageable recoil that's allowing the shooter to take multiple consecutive shots fast. This particular piece is missing the scope, though. We've got the scope. Common 30mm sniper scope, attachable to almost any bolt-action 4.46 caliber. It uses an older-style, non-dotted range-finding reticle. Seaweed is still stuck on the lens, and it suffered water damage from its time in the phasmid's dowry. So how long has the phasmid had this? Because if this is the case, if this has been in the water a long time, then it wasn't on the rifle when that guy supposedly shot the victim. Therefore, he couldn't have shot the victim. Or at least not with this scope. Unless there's another one about. I'm not convinced. This guy is the one we're looking for here. I've got some skill points to spend. There's an awful lot of... Hang on, apricot chewing gum scented gum. We did find a thought with this. The precarious world. Oh, I didn't... I'm still doing this wasteland of reality thing. That's still got 2 hours. That's nearly done. That could be something very interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I guess a lot of them thoughts aren't going to be available in every playthrough. I guess it's going to be a case of... I mean, it depends on what options I chose and who I talked to and what I missed as well. I'm still not convinced this is our guy. Let's go find out what's going on next.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
The old man looks around, confused. Something is very wrong with him now. Sir, how could you not see the phasmid? See? He stares at the reeds and falls silent. Mr. Dross? The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, his gap-toothed mouth shaking. Like an addict of some terrible substance. Snap your fingers under his nose. A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing. His hands are trembling and he breathes slowly. He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The lieutenant inspects him gently. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross? The trembling mouth appears to sigh. Well, that was from inspecting the phasmid. Between this and the broken tyre he's using for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here while we go and get help. It'll need to be medical first, I'm afraid. What's happened to this man? Old age and shock. He looks at him and you. Hey, hang on. Is he implying that I'm going to suffer from old age and shock? I think it's the phasmid. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. He looks at you. But you think it's something more than that, don't you? There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke. Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now. He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reads for him. That could be part of the shock, but you're right. Something is off here. Mr. Dross touches the man's shoulder. No response. Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years? Then how did we see it? He thinks, oh, you mean whatever does this? Does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks? Sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it, yes, you forget it's there. The lieutenant inspects the man. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be in the reeds? The old man stutters. The doctors will have a look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated. He nods. He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse. Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid? He does not seem to be animated now. Now once it's left, he looks to the sea. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. He takes off his glasses and cleans them. When he puts them back on, he's still staring at the sea. I think he's addicted to that thing, like a drug. He has displayed addict behaviour, and not just to painkillers. His pupils appeared to be dilated. They still are. He examines the catatonic man's eyes. Could it be there's something hormonal in his relationship to the phasmid? You mean pheromonal? He seemed a little off for a man his age. Randy. The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition towards Miss Oranje. Oranje. He nods. I see what you mean. I talked to the phasmid. It said it's destroying him. You should be more careful, detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? Maybe. Anyway, it's only trying to remain unseen. The degradation is a side effect. A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching unknown species in the future, detective. I feel like this is a conversation that Captain Kirk and Spock would have on some strange planet where they'd found life, but not as we know it. He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it? Who knows how much of it in its company? He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe. He looked at his notebook. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all this. He shakes his head in disbelief. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo. No one would believe you without it. We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr. Dross. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should. Show him the ceramic helmet. Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left wherever he is. The last embers have gone out. The war is over. He's given up. If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would pull it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the phasmid even? Even if it did, this is incredible. So that was the mercenary's helmet then. I thought it was his old war helmet. Makes sense if Kuno kicked it into the sea. Show him the detached scope. He turns his eye to it. You lost it, Mr. Dross? He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes. He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there, with the help of a magpie phasmid? The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in your hand.